All right, I think we're live. In case there's anyone who's already in here, I'm not sure. Hold on, let me make sure. This is my first time doing this. Okay, give me a break, please. I'm gonna get better at this. But yeah, I don't think I have anyone watching right now, but I will in the future. So, anyways, let me just cut off right there, and then it's gonna start. All right, ready? What's going on, Ccum? Sorry, I was not looking at the camera. All right, restart. What's going on, Ccum Squad? Today we're doing a live Q&A. I asked you guys to send me questions, and I'm going to answer them. I'm going to save one of these for last, okay? I think one of these is going to be the main title one, but for now, I'm going to go through all of them from the first to last. First to last. All right. The first question is, why did you start lifting? Well, what a good question. Sorry, this is awkward, okay? I have not done this before. The first question, why did you start lifting? Because I needed to put on weight for football because I was 110 to 115 pounds. 115 if I'm being lucky, or not lucky, if I'm being nice. I was probably only 110 pounds because I did wrestling before, and with wrestling you can't really weigh too much. It's more about the strength to weight ratio. But for now, or not for now, at that time, I also wanted to play football, and the football coaches, I'd already quit wrestling at this point. Sorry if I'm gonna ramble, okay? I still gotta get used to this, but the football coaches were basically like, yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to put on weight if you want to play football. And I'd already quit wrestling, so I was like, okay, I guess I gotta like lift weights. So a lot of people start, and it's like they want to look a certain way. I genuinely just started because I had to. There was no other alternative really. So that is why I started lifting. What is up? I have a viewer. This is awesome. Let me know if you're hearing this, but if there's anything also wrong with the stream, let me know so I can fix it, at least if not this stream, the next time. Okay, I don't know how long this is gonna go either, but we'll see how it ends up going. All right, next question. If you've gone through to that was the one I'm saving. That was almost a sneak peek. Which photo do you think you have the most ripped abs and glutes? For my bodybuilding show, it was obviously the ab shot and the lat spread, or rear lat spread, or the back double biceps. My glutes, I was pretty satisfied with the way my glutes looked. What's up, Caden? But yeah, that was probably when my glutes looked the most shredded. I remember, I think a couple people pointed it out to me. They were like, wow, you're looking pretty good. And I think that was code for your glutes look good. That's how I interpreted it. But anyways, next question. And if I think you can rewind the stream. If you've missed the first few questions and you want to catch up on what I'm talking about, you can rewind the stream. Isn't that freaking epic? Anyways, let's keep moving on. If you could fix one mistake in your life, what would it be? Honestly, I've read these beforehand, and yet I'm still here struggling to answer. Anyways, if there's one thing I could fix, or if there's one mistake, I don't consider anything as a mistake. It's more like, is there any regret associated with it? I don't regret running start. I did running start the last 2 years of high school, but the decision to leave when I did, right when, the pandemic started, that kind of it kind of messed with my social life. And I know, boo hoo, a lot of people had it a lot worse. I know. But that's the closest thing I probably have to a regret. I regret being friends with certain people as well. Okay, this is my biggest mistake. My biggest mistake in life isn't a singular mistake. It was more my outlook on life. I had, potential. I clearly have been trying to live up to it, at least for the last couple years, or whenever I started doing this. But my biggest mistake was thinking that my self-worth was tied to what others thought of me rather than what I thought of myself. And I was really insecure when it came to like being friends with people, because I was willing, when I had no friends, I wanted everyone to be my friend, because I didn't think, I didn't think very highly of myself. So I became friends with certain people who, if it were up to me to decide now, I would not have been friends with at the time. So that's probably my biggest mistake. Just thinking that what other people think of me, it matters more than what I think of myself. Anyways, is your private part as big as you are, or is it a bit short? Uh, let's just say I'm not insecure. That's probably the safest answer I can possibly give. Anyways, moving on. What's the ethically, or what is the okay? Ethically, what is the worst thing you've ever done? Uncut, raw, worst thing. Oh boy, this is my friend Connor. He wants a pretty good answer. All right. How about this? Ethically worst thing I've done. Probably stolen. I personally didn't steal, but I've had friends who steal certain liquid, and we may not have been the proper age to do it. But I'm not saying I stole. I did not steal. But it may have just ended up in my car, and I may have just driven away. And I'm good to drive. Everything's good. But let's just say I have been associated with people doing not good things. That's been my main. If going back to the other question, my mistake. I've never really made any huge mistakes, but I've been associated with people who do, and I think that's because I was kind of almost trying to live vicariously through them. I think I had a good moral compass at all times. Oh, Caden wants more detail. Sorry, Caden. Let's just say go. He wants me to answer the other one. I gave my answer. All right, but anyways, going back. I used to live vicariously through people because I was too afraid to do things myself. I'm an easy crier. If I get in trouble for something, I start tearing up. No matter how much muscle I put on in the gym, I'm still gonna cry if someone not yells at me, but if I feel bad about doing something, I will probably cry. And I know I'm a little bitch for that, but I used to live vicariously through other people. So I personally have not done any ethically bad things. Yeah, well, what else would I have even done? I don't even know ballpark what ethically I would have. Frick. Moving on. If I think of something, I'll say it. Are you gay? No. I don't know why so many people ask me that question. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but no. I'm pretty straight. I mean, then again, I do look at guys' glutes. I'm a bodybuilder, so I have to constantly look at guys' glutes and judge them. And I am going up and standing with a bunch of guys in underwear. Let's just say romantically, I'm straight, but from an outside perspective, I'm a little sus. Let's just say that. These are just a couple people sending me compliments. That's not what I asked for, but I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Just curious, bro. Any special skills or hobbies outside of fitness? I used to hike a lot. I don't really hike anymore. I used to go with a lot of people and go hiking, but I haven't been doing that for a little while. But anything else? Not really. I like to solve puzzles. I'm kind of a freaking nerd. I used to have a lot of hobbies when I was younger, but I don't know. The older I've gotten and the more into bodybuilding I've gotten, I've just kind of lost the urge to pick up new hobbies. Is this just a Gen Z thing where you can't really stay focused and you end up just giving everything up? That's kind of how I am. I kind of just try something and then I just give it up. But do I have any special skills? Like I said, I can solve this bad boy. I can't solve the last layer though. I can just solve it up until that. I'm not gonna do it now because it's kind of it would take a while. But yeah, that's my special skill, I guess. Relationship ? No. How personal should I go on this? I I'm tempted to just freaking lay it all out there because I do plan on, maybe clipping this. So this could end up being a clip, but no. Frick it. You know what? Honesty. Let's get freaking honest. This is also probably why I have such a hard time answering the ethical question from earlier. But I'm not in a relationship, and I never have been. Believe it or not. Maybe that sounds narcissistic. Uh, I don't know. I'm 21, and I don't think I just don't go. I used to want one really, really bad, and I don't know. I just once I started doing social media and stuff, I just kind of I've gone a little bit too far in the other direction now, where I I used to want it really, really bad, and I'm a 5'4" freaking man. It's kind of brutal out here, I try and optimize other things in life. You can't just be a one trick pony. But I don't know. I used to want it really bad, and every time I got close, I just either fumbled it or circumstances were just not. It was just not in the cards. But ever since I started doing bodybuilding and stuff, I've kind of gone too far in the other direction now, to where I just don't even think about it. I don't know. Why do I keep playing with my hat? I need to stop. I don't know. So no, I'm not in a relationship, and I don't really plan on being in one. I've been single for so long now that I don't want to force a relationship that's just going to end up taking up a lot of time and energy that I could spend doing. This to me is like a business venture. I'm not doing this just for fun. Obviously, I'm having fun doing it, but I plan on expanding this, and you know, it's like the scene from Whiplash. You guys ever seen Whiplash? Where he's like, "Oh, I don't think we can be together because I'm just gonna be too focused on doing this thing, and you're gonna resent me, and I'm gonna resent you, and yada yada." That's a really sad scene, but I kind of relate to it a little bit. I'm not saying I want to relate to it. I'm not sitting here being like, "Oh, I'm Sigma, grind set. I need to be better than everyone. I need to freaking I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, as far as getting a relationship, I'm not looking for one. So that's the very, very long answer to that. If you're new, I just noticed I have a couple more viewers. You can scroll back, or you can rewind and watch the beginning to see the questions. And I'm going to end up cutting all this up and posting it as a regular video too, in case you were wondering. That's the plan for this. The reason I'm streaming and doing this on YouTube and stuff is so I can film it and then get the whole live stream and then edit it, chop it up, so I'm not just so all the dead silences are gone, the awkwardness, and then re-upload it so you guys can enjoy. But anyways, going back now to the main question. I think this is going to be the main title card, or the main thumbnail, all that stuff. The big question: if you've gone through depression, how did you deal with it? I was saving this one because I knew eventually I'd have a few more viewers than I did at the beginning. Have I ever gone through depression? Yes. In fact, I've kind of been going through one since the show. I'd say I wasn't aware of it until July, because if you look, I was still posting pretty regularly and kind of on my my grind set from my show in May. It was May 4th, May 4th to mid-July. I was still on my grind set, but it was more like momentum was carrying me, and the moment I lost a little momentum, dude, I've been sad before. This is more than sad. I genuinely had zero motivation to do anything. I was kind of struggling with as far as eating, like food. There's a an eating disorder, and I basically had an eating disorder. I don't know if that's gonna get this video flagged, but I basically had an eating disorder, and I was very just depressed. I was low energy. I was just really regretting almost starting social media to begin with, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to even keep doing it. But the problem was, once you start, it's one thing to start and then stop. It's another thing to start and then actually build a following and then stop, because there's so much going on at that point in your mind where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm failing. not just in front of my friends and family, but in front of all these people who have, taken the time to support me and send me all this stuff, and now I'm just giving up on them. And then also, as far as just building new relationships and stuff, like not even just like a girlfriend, but getting new relationships, period. It's like there's always going to be the underlying thing of like, oh, you used to post on social media, and especially the way I was, because I'm posing shirtless and stuff. It's kind of cringe if you don't keep it going. There's certain things where it's cringe until it works. I've always said that you have to be a little cringe until eventually people respect you. But if you stop and the respect goes away, you go back to how you felt when there was no one watching, because now you're now you're like, well, why'd you put all that time into it? You sacrificed so much just to give it up. And that's kind of where I've been at for a while. I'm just like, wow, I put in all this time and energy building it up just to freaking lose it. And now I feel like, in a weird way, I feel like now that I've kind of lost it, like, I'm not saying I've lost it, but all the momentum is gone. All the views are gone. I don't really crave it anymore as well. But at the same time, now I feel like I'm completely grounded. I kind of had my head in the sand for a while, just about what was going on in the world, and I realized, yes, bodybuilding is important as far as health and stuff goes, but if you're neglecting other aspects of your life, that's what was my problem with bodybuilding. I was all in. I become very obsessive, and I started neglecting other things that needed to be taken care of, such as like my actual relationships, like real life, not just, I exist in the real world, believe it or not. But, and then not just that, what was going on in the world, like as far as politics and all that stuff, like I just didn't want to even look at it because it would depress me, and I didn't want to be depressed. I wanted to stay on my Sigma grind set. Not that I was actually thinking that, but I basically was. I just didn't realize it. Now I kind of do want to get back on my grind or whatever, but now I want to keep it a little bit more balanced with, okay, I need to make sure I'm aware of what's going on, not just in my own little bubble. I'm very privileged to have a good life and not have to worry about certain things, but there's a lot of people who aren't. And part of the reason I started this to begin with is to help, inspire people, motivate people, just somewhat make an impact eventually, if I could. But at the same time, once the numbers started rolling in, I lost sight of that. All I cared about is the numbers. I kind of became a narcissist. I really didn't care about anything about it, except like finding a way to make money from this, or, I was just, and then that was probably a year ago. And then when I started the prep for the show, that's when I started realizing, like, I wasn't posting as much, and I started thinking about deeper concepts in life. Like, all I had to do was like pretty much think. I was just stuck in my own head, and I started thinking a lot about, like, oh my gosh, like, am I just stuck in my own little bubble? Like, and then once the show was over, I just had this moment where I remember the moment the show was done, I went and I sat against a wall, and I just thought, like, wow, it was like I was literally taking my head out the sand, and I was like, have I just been like an ass to everyone for the last however many months? And I had been. And that slow realization made me start to reevaluate things. So, yes, going back to the question, if you've gone through depression, how did you deal with it? I just went all that. I just talked about all that without even answering the question. How I've been dealing with it is, you have to find the source of it. And to me, the source of it was the stress, not of even bodybuilding. I still enjoy bodybuilding. I still enjoy going to the gym. It's good for you, in general. It's just good for you. The problem was I became too obsessed with the aesthetics of it. The way, not just I looked, but that I appeared online, that other people thought of me. I became very in my own head about what people viewed me as. And the way I stopped is the way I've been trying to fix it is going back. I also had the food issue. I kind of had like the eating disorder. I've been forcing myself to just track the protein, and have a rough estimate of the calories and just relax on it, find something else to fixate my time and energy on. Only it's good to kind of have like a motivation to do something, but if you're not, can someone, oh, hope you're doing well, buddy. Okay, I was about to say, I was hoping, I just looked and I saw that it says offline, but I think I'm still going. I'm just making sure real quick. But yeah, I I found the source of the problem and I dealt with it, and I've been offline pretty much for the last month. I've really been finding out ways to ground myself, not just bodybuilding. I've really been trying to find something else to put my time and energy into, and this is kind of what I've been putting my time and energy into. I really miss having a bond. That's why I started this to begin with. I wanted to create some kind of bond with people watching. And once I got obsessed with the numbers, it was wraps at that point, because you get number blindness. And with short form content, you can't really you can build an audience of people who watch, but you can't really build a bond with the people who watch. And that's why doing this is so exciting to me, because I can actually hear directly from you guys. And every time I've done like an Instagram live in the last however many months, I get so excited and I enjoy it, but then it's like it's not really translatable. It's like I can't post that, but I can do this instead. Let me see what you guys are saying. I got some people talking. Let's go. Freaking yeah. Hey, yeah, hello buddy. What's up, Sarita? Where are you from, boy? I'm from Washington State, in the United States. Sorry. Oh, I just answered. Sorry. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Mohammed. I am doing well. I'm doing really well. I've been really enjoying life, and I'm also another resolution, I guess, because the New Year's. I'm just labeling it as a New Year's resolution, but regardless of the time of year, I would have been trying to do this. My resolution is to make more active decisions in life, and not just when it comes to doing like bodybuilding or anything like that, or even social media, just making my own decisions. And even if it's a little riskier, I'd rather live with a little bit. You got to find a balance. You can't live too safe, because eventually there's going to be regret regardless. You're either going to regret not making the decision, or you're going to regret making the decision. And I've realized I'd rather regret making a decision that I think is going to be beneficial and it doesn't end up being beneficial, than holding back and never making the decision to begin with. It's better to regret doing something than not doing something, unless obviously it's harmful. Don't do anything that's going to actually hurt you or other people. But I'm talking like as far as investing, like I invested in a nice setup and stuff. Looking at the price tag, it kind of hit me in the chest a little bit. Oh, but I definitely I'm very glad I made the decision. And even if I did end up regretting that I made this purchase, there wouldn't be actual regret. Regret's not the right word for it. It's just you're just more sad that you're like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done this. But I'd rather feel that than be like, shoot, I should have done that. But anyways, hi, you're from India. Wow, that's crazy. Someone on my Instagram live earlier said they were from Berlin, which is, I sometimes forget. I mean, like, it's global. Like, I forget that other people, like real people. That's the thing. I built up a fan base, not a fan base, a follower base on Instagram, and the number, it's so unreal to me that doing this, I think, is gonna help me visualize it a little bit better. You lose grasp of what the numbers mean, and I think doing this, even just the fact that I'm just talking to one person right now, as far as I know, or looks like we got like 5 people. Let's go. The fact that I got like 5 people watching is like, wow, those are 5 real people who are really here supporting me, which is like, you don't need to do this. I'm not sitting here posing and stuff, but here you are. So thank you. Our bodybuilder is here. But anyways, yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap this up in the next few minutes. I was maybe gonna do another like actual story time thing in the future, building off the question of like, have you ever gone through depression? How have you dealt with it? Because this is a very particular type of depression I kind of went through, and obviously I've had like depression or depressive episodes. I don't want to say depression. You know, everyone gets depressed, but I've been depressed in the past in different ways, and in the future I'll probably share stories about that. Sorry, I'm getting over. Freaking heck, I'm getting over a sickness as well. Sorry if I sound stuffy. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, I'm gonna chop this up just so you guys know. I'm gonna take this live stream and I'm gonna chop it up, and that's what I'm gonna do with all the future live streams. I'm gonna do not just sit like yaps where I just sit here and talk. I'm gonna do. Let's just say this. You know, let's give you guys a little preview. You guys are here. You guys watched to the end. Let's just tell you guys what I'm gonna do. Look at this. I got like a whole list of ideas of stuff I'm planning to do. Obviously, not everything I'm probably going to end up doing. But yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. In this month where I've been offline, I've been building ideas. I got to end this. Oh my gosh. Where's my water? Holy smokes. Anyways, yeah, that's all. For those of you who are watching live, thank you, and to all of you who are watching the cut up video, thank you for making it to the end of this. Sorry, look, I'm really trying to get this out right now. Anyways, I'm gonna do this as often as I can, and I feel good. I feel good right now. I did it. Oh man, I set it up and I did it. But yeah. Anyways. All right, buddy. See you later. I got to get to class. Wow, what time is it for you? That's crazy. Anyways, bye, Muhammad and Sarita, my two commenters, and Caden from earlier. Anyways, see you guys. Ccum Squad out.